Hi guys, today I'm gonna show you how to build the engine in my summer car. The first thing you have to do is get the crankshaft. Put the crankshaft in like this. Get the main bearings, you have to guess which goes where. Then you tighten them with 6 9mm bolts. Then you get the head gasket. You put it in like this. No screws required. Then you get the pistons. It doesn't matter where you put which piston. Then you turn around the engine block. Then you get the 7mm tool and you tighten the pistons. Then you turn the engine around and get the cylinder head. So you get the 7mm tool and tighten all the bolts. Then you turn around the engine like this and you get the spark plugs. Then you get the spark plug wrench and tighten them fully. Then you get the rocker shaft. You tighten it with 5 8mm bolts. Then you get the camshaft. It goes in the side of the engine. You tighten it with 2 5mm bolts. Then you get the camshaft gear. It requires one 10mm bolt. Then you get the timing chain. Doesn't require anything. Then you get the timing cover. Timing cover requires 6 6mm bolts. Then you get the water pump. The water pump requires 5 7mm bolts. Then you get the crankshaft pulley. It requires one 11mm bolt. Then you get the water pump pulley. It requires 4 7mm bolts. Then you get the alternator. I didn't tighten the alternator already because you need a fan belt. Get the distributor. It requires one 6mm bolt. You can put one screw in the alternator, one 7mm on the top. Then you go to the store. If you want, you can bring your jerrycan of gasoline with you because you need it later for the car. You can also get your can of diesel with you. You can fill it up at the town so you have enough diesel for your cars or your tractor or your truck. You follow the road until you get here. Here you go right. Here you go left. When you are over here, the sign says to go left, but that's a bumpy off-road road. I prefer to go to the left to the highway. Go left when you are on the highway. Look out for green fast cars or trucks because you don't want to die. When you see this blue sign, you have to brake a little bit so you can get into the town over here. When you drive into town, the first thing you will see is the shop, with most of the times there is a yellow car in the front. Don't piss that guy off because he will kill you, he will drive you over. Open up your can, get the nozzle and fill it. When you go into the store, the first thing you will see on the left is a fan belt. You have to get 2 brake clutch fluids, 1 motor oil and 1 coolant. I get 2 of them, but you need only 1 of each. I also get some food. You also pay for your gasoline. Your oil will drop on the floor and you have to put it in your fan. Your fan belt and your brake clutch fluid is in your shopping bag. Grab your fan belt and put it around the engine. Now you can get the screwdriver and tighten the alternator. Then you get the engine plate. The engine plate requires no bolts. You have to put it on the other side of the engine. Then you get the starter. It requires 2 7mm bolts and it goes on the side of the motor plate. Then you have to get your carburetor. It goes on the other side of the engine and it requires 4 8mm bolts. Then you get your headers. I couldn't find it, but it is I couldn't find it. If you find the headers, you go ahead and put it near the carburetor. It requires 5 8mm bolts. I see I forgot the fifth. Then you get the flywheel. The flywheel requires 6 7mm bolts. Then you have to make the clutch assembly. All the parts are in the rack. Then you put it on. It requires 6 6mm bolts. Then you have to get the oil pan. It requires one 13mm bolt on the bottom, and it requires 8 7mm bolts around the oil pan. Then you get the gearbox. The gearbox requires 6 7mm bolts and one 10mm bolt. Then you get the drive gear. Drive gear requires 7 6mm bolts if you get it in. Then you have to put the engine block under the motor hoist. You get a wrench 10. You lower the hoist until you hear a little sound. Sometimes you have to reposition the engine. You tighten the 10mm bolts to hold the motor to the hoist, and you higher the hoist. Don't run into the engine because the hoist will glitch out and your engine will launch into there. Then you have to adjust the valves. I didn't know what I was doing, but I found on the internet you need to tighten it 16 turns of your mouse wheel and then loose it 6 turns with your mouse wheel. Not 16 turns on the screw, because that's way too much and your engine will kill itself. When you have done that, you get the rocker cover, put it over the rockers. It requires 6 7mm bolts. Then you get the fuel pump. It requires 2 7mm bolts. Then you get the air filter. The air filter requires two 6mm bolts. Some people prefer to not put on the air filter before lowering the engine into the car, because if you want to get in the engine bay, the air filter blocks your view. Then you get the oil filter. It requires no screws, you can screw it on by hand. So that's your engine. I hope you liked the video. Leave a like, leave a comment. If you want more my summer car tutorials, leave a comment. And I hope I will see you in the next video.